Hi and welcome to Raspberry Pi Live. This is my first one in a really long time. The last one I did actually turned out so poorly that I was scared away. What happened last time is that I created a project that didn't work, and that is always the possibility with these live streams. But before we get into any of the fun and excitement today, welcome to the people who are live in the stream. There's currently 19 viewers according to my statistics, which it's right here, which is why I keep looking down at it. There's around 19 viewers currently on. Out of those 19 viewers, only a very small percentage are actually watching in 4K. We're broadcasting in full 4K today, so you can get a real crystal clear view of everything that's going on. I didn't realize that you could see so much junk over here on the side, but for those of you who don't know, I'm the owner of oneupkeyboards.com. A lot of people come to my channel to check out the keyboard stuff, but actually a lot of people also come to my channel to do Raspberry Pi stuff. I have a lot of really popular Raspberry Pi videos, and I thought, why not continue it on? I've been sent a couple things to do with the Raspberry Pi, so I thought I would share. But before we get to any of that stuff, congratulations to Harry Sang, who today became a mod. Congratulations. Wilton Yee is also in the house. The Brotaku was here earlier, but he's gone again. Spencer Cook is here. Dr. Doomapple, what's up? Philip, welcome all. If you guys haven't spent a lot of time with Raspberry Pis, it's definitely worth checking out. I'm going to remove this 4K thing, but come on, guys. 4K. Wilton Yee. Did I say Wilton Yee is in the house? I hope I did. Thank you very much. Smaller head. Just a tiny little head. It's way more convenient. I don't know why this penny is over here, but I find it distracting. I'm sure you find it distracting. There, look. I've hidden it under my head. There we go. Heads or tails. That would be a fun little thing to do with that corner. Right, there's two main things that we're doing today. One is we're going to look at the Raspberry Pi 3. This is the Model B Plus. And I also have on here an SD card. I'm going to actually boot this up using this. This is a Raspberry Pi 10-inch display that was sent to me for the purposes of review. My only fear with this thing, and I do definitely have a fear, is that I might not have a power supply that works for this. Huh. You know what? I don't think I do have a power supply that works for this. But I do have a couple power supplies lying around. And so I will have a little scavenger hunt for those in a couple minutes. I'm just looking around here real quick, because I know I got one nearby. Oh, maybe I don't have one nearby. Dang. I thought of it before the stream, but I didn't do anything about it. It's, what is this? I assume this is a 12 volt. I bought three 12 volt power adapters. I just don't know where I put any of them. There must be one in my Raspberry Pi box, which is right behind me. I'm just going to double check what this is, because if not, this is going to be a super short. It's not going to be that short a stream, but it's going to be a lot shorter if I don't have one of these. It just says DC in. Oh, 12 volt, yeah. 12 volt DC. I have one of those. Give me just 1 second. I have a whole box of Raspberry Pi stuff. Just right off camera here. Yeah, look at that. Up and Adam today, I see, says JB1830. Indeed, JB1830. It's time to crush everything. And look at that. It doesn't fit. Ah, I was so dang close. Dang. have one other power supply. This is going to be a real short stream. Dang. Yeah, I did. I just got a power supply. Steph just asked, did you get a power supply? Yes, I did. I got it right here. It's this 12 volt, 2 amp, fully regulated switching power supply. It's just that the stem, this little piece, doesn't fit into the hole, this little, because they're two different sizes. Well, Steph says, surely there's something that plugs in there. I don't know, man. I don't know. 12 volt. Come take a look. I'm just showing Steph. Here, I'm going to show you guys on Action Cam. Here's my 12 volt, 2 amp power supply. Here's the no worky. No worky.
So
no worky.
Don't you have one of those ones that has those multiple ends?
No. I should get one of those though, wouldn't I? That'd be smart, wouldn't it? But then who sends you a monitor? Who sends you a monitor for testing and doesn't include a power supply? Or even let you know that you need a power supply? I did have a second power supply somewhere though, but I'm sure it was the same thing.
I thought your bottom drawer you had.
Oh, my bottom drawer.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know what to put.
Well, no, because these are all like this.
Well, no, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff in there.
Yeah, but they all have like specific adapters on the ends of them. None of them have like a pluggy.
A multi.
Dang. Okay, well, scrap that. You can always cut the jack and solder solder to the pads. Yeah, just keep looking around the house. You'll find one eventually. I totally agree. Cut the cable and solder it to the board. Yeah, but I kind of want this power supply for something else. I want this power supply. Here, look. This is what I really got it for. Oh, wait. Wait. Here's my other power supply. And you can see what I got it for. I got it for this dope High-Key 960. Which, by the way, if you don't already know, the High-Key 960. This is a super expensive version of the Raspberry Pi that's super powerful. That's another project for another day. But wait, that other power supply? One of these is going to fit. One of these is going to fit. It's going to fit. I have so much stuff to review, guys, you can't even imagine. I have a whole stack behind me. What do you know, it fit? Yes! This is a 12 volt 2 amp power supply. Okay. See, I got so ahead of myself. High-Key 960, that'll sit over there. This adapter, I'll probably use again. See what it's like to be a geek? Eventually, you'll find something that works. Thank you, Spencer, for believing in me. Thank you. Okay. If that's not worth a like, I don't know what is. If you haven't already pressed like on the channel or on this video, please press like now. Even though the first 10 minutes of this video was super boring and mostly just me looking for a power adapter. But I'm going to get to that after, because what I need to do first is take a look at the Model 3 B+. All right. All right. I'm going to do this like it's a proper review. Like you guys aren't here, even though I know you are here. I totally know you're here. Don't be like that. Don't be weird like that. Why do you have to... Hi everybody, I'm Ski with Pete. Today we're taking a look at the Raspberry Pi Model B+. Now I'm doing it again. Steffi's in the house. What's going on? Webslinger 2011 is also here, and Jean, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Z-A-N Pevic. I'm gonna say it's Jean or Ian. I don't know which it is. Jan? Not sure. Okay, I'm redoing the intro. You ready? Here we go. Hi, I'm Ski with Pete. As my hat will tell you, I'm here today taking a look at the Raspberry Pi 3 Model B+. This is the new B+. This has been out for a little while, but I only recently got my hands on one, just because they're hard to get your hands on. Wow. There is really nothing in this box. There's not even a static wrapper on it. Straight into the box. What do we find inside here? A card and the safety instruction booklet, which mostly gives you safety instructions that you don't really need. I always say safety first, but in this case it says, to avoid malfunction or damage to your Raspberry Pi, do not expose it to water. Take care while handling. Who cares? Wilton Yee, I'm actually going to use this and cut this I'm going to edit this down and turn this into one of my short reviews. What you're really seeing now is kind of the behind the scenes version of it, because I release things. In fact, I would have released one this morning. I release videos usually around once a week. And the way to do that, the easy way to do that is to create these streams, and then I take the streams and then cut them down. That way it's like all the content you ever needed. Ghost Galore is in the house. What's going on? Okay, let's take a look. I'm going to use Action Cam here to get in nice and close. Focus is always an issue, so I'm going to just spend a second getting my action camera. Oh, I've got to do it this way. And I'm just going to lock the focus out here. That's pretty good, right? All right. All right. The first question is, how can you identify what model of Raspberry Pi you have? And the answer is, look up at the top here. It says Raspberry Pi Model 3 B+, Raspberry Pi 2017. The time of this review is mid-2018, but I've only just got my hands on this. Okay, first thing to do is walk around the outside of the board. You can see this is where the power goes in. This is your HDMI. This is your 3.5 millimeter audio jack. For those of you who have iPhones, this is what they look like. On the back, you can see there's the network switch. This is improved in the new Model 3 B+. There's 2 USBs and 2 USBs. These are still USB 2.0s, but you get a total of 4 of them. Along the back are the 40 GPIO headers. These headers are important to turn your Raspberry Pi into many of the projects and add them to many of the accessories that you will. On the back here is the display port. This is great for adding an external monitor or like a TFT or LCD monitor display to your Raspberry Pi. It's called a ribbon. This is how like your laptop and other internal things use connections. Like inside your TV would have one of these. Looking at the board itself, you can see that there's a second one like the display. Here it is for the camera, so you can add a camera that's non-USB. Again, that ribbon is a common way for things to attach inside of your electronics. All right, looking up at this top right corner, you can see, maybe you can't see, I'm going to get it as close as I possibly can. I'm just playing with the focus. You can see here it says PoE. This is for power over Ethernet. So I'm not sure if those are jumpers or how you connect to that, but that would be the subject of an upcoming video. Okay, continuing around, here we have the Broadcom chip. This is the newest, this is the CPU basically on here. The CPU is the new 1.4 gigahertz quad core CPU. This is faster than the old version. The old version had a 1.2 gigahertz chip. This is it's called SoC, or System on a Chip. The whole thing is on here, including the RAM. The RAM is on top of that. Now, as far as I know, and I could be wrong, this controller over here is for the Wi-Fi. And I'm just going to take a look at the back here. You know, I'm actually not really sure what that logo is covering. This over here is the controller. This controls the USB and the Ethernet. Now, I understand that this controller has been upgraded, and with the upgrade of this controller, you have better access to the USB 2 and better access to the Ethernet, which means that you get slightly higher speeds from all of these. Now, they're not USB 3 speeds, but they're definitely higher than the old USB 2 speeds, so you get a better control, better access to the board through these. One of the things that's definitely been upgraded is this network switch. However, it's still a 10100 switch. It's not a gigabit switch. So it's like they've gone halfway. But the Raspberry Pi, much like Intel or the other electronics manufacturers, they do this kind of iterative tick-tock thing where they partly upgrade and then fully upgrade. And you can tell that they're focusing on the stuff on this side of the board with the upgraded USB and the upgraded Ethernet, but they haven't gone to gigabit and they haven't gone to USB 3 yet. Those, as I understand, are both limitations of the ARM chip processor, but I think that they're working on it. I really do believe that they're working on it because I think that they know that that's something that everybody's looking for. Okay, as I flip the board over, you can see this is the bottom half of the CPU. This will... Actually, I don't actually know what it is. Maybe I should focus on the SD card. On the back half here, you can see the SD card there. We have another chip. I'm not sure what that is. Is that the RAM? I will let you know as I edit this exactly what that chip and what this chip is. This is probably where the antennas are hiding. That would make sense to me for the updated Bluetooth and the updated wireless to both have antennas inside of here. Speaking of which, that is the biggest difference that you're going to find with this and the old Model 3. The Model 3 B Plus has wireless AC. Wireless AC for anybody who has a new network system or a new router in their house. Wireless AC is much faster than a wireless N. However, it's not full speed wireless AC. Again, that's the limitation. These are small computers. They're not meant to replace your desktop, and so this thing doesn't quite have the power that you might find in a laptop or in a desktop. All right, well, that's a quick walk around the outside of this. Let's just go back. The Ethernet is now 300 megabits per second. The LAN chip, which would be this thing, is upgraded. It has the power over Ethernet. I'm assuming this is the wires for the Bluetooth, the radios rather. And yeah, this still uses the micro SD. Cool. If you're considering getting this, or maybe you're comparing this to the smaller Raspberry Pi Zero, I recommend you start with this one, which is the full-size one, because it's much easier to plug in peripherals. Start making your project here, then move it over to the Zero as you get more advanced, as you want to miniaturize things, rather than at the start when you're trying to prototype things. Okay, for those of you who are in the live stream, this is not the end of the live stream. Nowhere close. I'm just going to do my little conclusion because I am going to turn this into a video at a later date. So it goes something like this. Thanks for tuning in. This has been my walk around and first look at the Raspberry Pi Model 3B+. I'm sure that I'll be including this in many upcoming projects. Please stay tuned. Don't forget to press like. Don't forget to press subscribe. And we'll see you guys back again very soon. If you're in the live stream, stick around because there's way more coming. Okay, first thing to do is to open and unbox the monitor. Little sip of coffee. Delicious. The shield is covering Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Thank you, Harry. Yeah. Akiz says I've got the original Raspberry Pi, and I've been very interested in grabbing the newest version. I think I have all of them now. I bought the original, and I keep thinking of new projects, and I keep buying new ones and replacing, not just replacing old ones, but adding new projects where things didn't before. I have a light that, if you guys have seen my alarm clock video, it turns on a light and plays an audio track. That's a Raspberry Pi 2. I have a Raspberry Pi 3 behind my TV. I have a Raspberry Pi Model A. At work, I have a Raspberry Pi Model 3 also at work that does what's it called? Video games. The RetroPie. What else do I have? I have dozens of them. I have one set up as an external camera. Where was that one? An external camera for this stream. I don't usually enable it because it doesn't have audio, but I've also done one. Look, on the Raspberry Pi Zero. That's a camera. You can see. Here, I'll put on an action cam. That's a Model Zero. These things cost $5. Yeah, or you can usually find them for $10, but they definitely cost $5. You can find them for $5 at Micro Center. So I got them everywhere. Anyways, let's get on to this part. Again, for those of you who are here, G'day, what's your view on the Orange Pi instead of official Raspberry Pi? Get the Raspberry Pi. I have an Orange Pi. I had 2 Orange Pis. I recently gave one away. The Orange Pi is more pain than it's worth. The software isn't very good. The instructions are minimal. The community and the support is terrible. 100% stick with the Raspberry Pi. If you're extremely advanced and you want a system, a SoC, get the Hikey 960. Okay, I'm gonna do this like a review, so it's gonna feel like I'm, doing it like a review, but I'm just doing it like a review. Alright. Getting loose gear. Getting loose. Alright. Hi, I'm Ski with Pete. Today we're taking a look at the Raspberry Pi 10-inch display. This was sent to me for the purpose of review from a place called Geek. You can find a link to it in the About section below. This is a 10-inch display for Raspberry Pi. It actually works on HDMI, but let's get inside and take a look. So here we have the controller board. We also have a couple switches that go along with it. I'm not really sure what those switches are for. These are the cables that we're going to use to attach it to this. And we actually have in under here little alarm going off outside. This is the monitor itself. Okay, this is extremely bare bones. This kit did not even come. Somebody power washing outside my window? I might have to close the door. Hold on. When the neighbor decides to do some power washing, what can you do? Alright. This is extremely bare bones. This does not come with a case. All of the electronics are exposed. It doesn't even come with a power supply. There's no power supply here. So you really have to do it all yourself and be comfortable doing it all yourself. With that said, let's take a look. I've got a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus that I've recently reviewed. Excuse me. I'm going to do that bit again just because I don't want to edit myself burping. I've got a Raspberry Pi Model 3B Plus that I've recently reviewed. And so what I'm going to do with this this micro SD card in here that has just been loaded with the very basic Raspbian, just going to pop that in there and get ready to plug this in. One thing that I didn't anticipate here, because I assumed that it would use ribbon and it doesn't, is I need an HDMI cable as well. There are no instructions whatsoever that have come with this. None. There's no instruction booklet. There's nothing. So it's entirely up to you to figure it out. Hopefully you can use this video to help you along the way. But I don't know what I'm doing either. Things could get real crazy real quick. So, how does one know which way this goes? No idea. I genuinely have no idea what I'm up against here. Look, let me show you what I'm talking about. Again, this has come with no instructions, so you can see here. This is the pin header that I want to plug this into. But you can see the wire's only attached to one half of it, and I can't tell if it goes this way around or this way around. There's no clues here. There's no indicators. I genuinely have no idea. Okay, and then on this side, I assume that this goes in here. That I can pretty much tell the direction it's meant to go. So I can plug that in there. I think that's meant to go there. It's not. It's actually bigger than that. So this actually goes here. Okay. Got that bit. All right. This. Again, I'm totally making this up. I have no idea what I'm doing. Which is really unfortunate. So yeah, the high key, Charlie, I can see that you're writing that the high key 960 is out of your budget. Yeah, I would stay away from the high key 960, to be honest. I'm just saying if you wanted a really high end version, I would go for that. Otherwise, just stick to the Raspberry Pi, dude. The Raspberry Pi is awesome. It's unhinged how good it is. It's so good. Okay. So I know that this goes this way. Knowing that this goes this way, I can see that. Alright, look. So I'm using my power of deduction here. This has to go this way. This is the only way that this is ever going to potentially fit in. Oh no, wait a sec. It's going to go this way. Yeah, this goes this way in here. There's no other way that that ever was going to fit in there. Okay, but on the back here, on the back, that tells me, as I plug those in, oh no, it doesn't tell me anything. I was really hoping that I was going to be able to look at that instruction set. I was going to be able to look at the pins that it plugged into and be able to tell let me show you how I was planning on doing some deducting. Oh, I'm not even going to undo that. I'm going to leave that in. Okay, look. This goes in here. And when that goes in there, you can see that some of these pins are labeled around the edges. But none of the pins over on this side, which is the side where all the cables are, have any labels. So I genuinely can't tell where that thing goes. Okay, again, I'm just using logic and I'm guessing here. Look, I'm going to guess that pin 1 and pin 2 would be the first two pins that you would have. So it's going to go this way. What you wouldn't do, because it would be ridiculous, is to start with pin 30. Right? This is pin 30 over this end. And if you were building this, you would start with pin 1. So that means this goes this way, pin 1. If this thing should suddenly explode, I'd like to apologize to my viewers. But this thing will have exploded, so who cares? Alright, now there's two of these. Which one does this one fit into? It could be this one. Or it could be this one. No, it's this one because this is the right size. Okay, that fits in there. And then this goes and plugs into this here. I mean, who knows what these buttons do? Again, zero instructions. So we're just making it up as we go along. Okay, now I'm definitely going to plug this in here. We know that this only fits one way. So that goes in there. Again, if you ever crack open your laptop, it's a lot like what your laptop looks like in behind. Alright, I'm saying this again as a serious warning to all of those of you out there who are thinking about getting one of these. This did not come with a power supply. I had to find a power supply, and I was lucky that I had one. This is a 12 volt power supply. This is from Amazon, 12 volt 2 amp, and it just happens to have the right header to fit in here, or at least I thought it did. What? But I thought it did. I thought it had the right. Maybe it's the other one. You see what I'm saying? I happen to have two of these. This is 12 volt. The reason I was able to figure out that it's a 12 volt is if you look over here on the back of this. If you look on the back of this, you can see it says GND 12 volt. 12 volt. Do you see that? Can you see it? I want it to focus. No, it's focused. You can see that's how I figured it out. You see it says 12 volt, 12 volt. That's how I actually figured out that it's a 12 volt. They don't actually tell you. There's no instructions. So again, just thought I'd do it on my own. Okay, with that plugged in, this just happened to fit. It does, it fits. Again, it's 12 volt. I don't know what size it is. Okay, now I'm going to power on the monitor and we'll see if it explodes. Okay. I just plugged it in and I could see something happen on the screen. I'm going to unplug it and replug it back in so I can see that again. The screen went blue. It says HDMI. And then no signal. Okay. Perfect. Fine. No problem. That's kind of what you expected to say because it has no signal. But the other thing I need to do is go get a tiny HDMI cable. And I have one of those, but it's downstairs. Again, I didn't know that I would need one. This thing came with nothing. Back in a sec. I don't know if you guys are like me, but I have like a bajillion HDMI cables. I buy them from Amazon and I buy them 3 at a time. You never know when you're going to need one. Or rather, every time you deal with a Raspberry Pi, you know you're going to need one. All right. Okay. What do we got here? We've got our Raspberry Pi. Getting rid of this. What have we got? We got a Raspberry Pi via HDMI plugged into our monitor setup. Our monitor has this DC in. It's coming out, I think, of this using this controller. Both of those are going into the back of this monitor. There's also the 4-button control for the monitor. Don't know what those 4 buttons, 5 buttons do. I have no idea. In fact, let's press them. This one switches between the different modes. That says VGA. Now it says HDMI. So this is mode switch. I don't know what the other ones do yet. All right. We're almost ready to go. I need 2 more things. One, I need a keyboard and a mouse to plug into this. It just so happens that I run my own keyboard company called One Up Keyboards. It just so happens that I have many keyboards within an arm's reach. So I'm just going to grab one. What keyboard should we use today? Do you know which keyboard I really want to use, actually? I really want to use the one that's directly to my right. I'm just going to grab this one. This one. which is my LJD 61 amp red carbon fiber. I'm going to plug it in with this very Christmassy USB cable. Nope, I'm not. This USB cable is too big to fit into the back of the LJD 61 amp. Instead, I'm going to use this tiny universal cable that I have. All right. And then last thing is a mouse. Do I have a mouse that's nearby? Yeah, I do. I have one of these cheapo HP mice. All right, the only other thing I need to add now is power, and I'm going to power this up. Can you guys see that? It says resize file system, so this monitor is already working. It's a bit hard to see here, so I'm just switching over to the action cam. There you go. Can you see it? Powered by Raspbian. It's pretty difficult to see this monitor, isn't it? So let me see if I can just take off this. If I take off this wrapper here, will this help? Can you see that any better? It's certainly not very bright, but that might be a settings. There, you can see. There you go. Now, you can see right here on the display. Oh, I might press that again. Whoops. Disappeared. It all went black. You can see here that its resolution is 1366 by 768, and it's working at 60 hertz. The color temperature set on it currently is at 6500K. Now that's my up arrow. Is this my down arrow then? Yeah, this is my down arrow. Again, I'm just smashing at these. I'm just smashing at these buttons. I really have. You see these buttons? I have no idea what they're doing. This is down. This one's down. This one's up. All right. Look, it looks like it works. It's certainly not the fastest monitor that I've ever used, but it's not the worst either. Set Wi-Fi country of localization tab and Raspberry Pi configuration to enable Wi-Fi. Cool. So this monitor is pretty dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get in there and brighten it up. There we go. Getting it brighter now. Yeah, that's full brightness. It's still not the brightest monitor I've used by any stretch, but it's bearable. Okay. Next steps for me is to mount this to some sort of board, so that it's all like contained. Because right now it's just extremely awkward. I don't really know how to use this, to be honest. Does this mount to the back? You can see the back here is super flat and clean, so there's no way I can add anything to it. It's basic to the extreme, but again, if you're building a project, if you've got a project in mind and you wanted to add a display to it, this might work out in your favor perfectly. This is definitely not a touchscreen. It couldn't possibly be because it's simply attached via HDMI. Jenny Leela says, what I usually do is activate SSH through GUI and then SSH into it using my main PC. That's what I'm going to do too. And this monitor is kind of cool. Like, what I could do here is I could just set this up over on the side here, and all that it would do is just like display my subscriber number or something. Speaking of which, if you haven't already pressed like, if you haven't already pressed subscribe, could you please go ahead and press those now? Thank you to everybody who tuned in today. Don't forget to post any comments in the comment section below. Thank you to the people at Geek for sending this through. Like I say, it's very basic. It came without any instructions, but just a little bit of guesswork, and I was able to figure out how to put it together. Or you can use this video to put it together. Links to this and everything else you can see on my desk are in the About section below. So go check those out. Thanks again for tuning in today, especially for those of you who are in the live stream. I know it's only a short live stream today, but I just want to say thank you for coming and stopping by. I have so much stuff to review. I'm going to do another live stream tomorrow morning, which is going to be about automation. That's coming up. And I also have a bunch of Bluetooth stuff. That's coming up. And then I have a massive keyboard review coming probably tomorrow morning, actually. So I'm looking forward to that. Thanks again, especially to all of my mods who hang out in here and help keep things civilized. Thank you again, and congratulations to the new mods. It's been awesome. Just before I go, while I'm cleaning up, if you guys have any questions or anything, happy to answer those. Wilton says, is it possible to use a Raspberry Pi to build a secondary monitor? I won't be able to link the Raspberry Pi directly to Windows without some lag issues. What I could do is, I could VM into the Raspberry Pi, or use the Raspberry Pi to VM into the into Windows, but it'll be laggy. It won't be very good. This would be better as a single use. I always say that about Raspberry Pis. If you have a single use for it, then it'll be great. Single use is just one thing that it will do. For example, turn on off a light. For example, be an alarm clock. Yeah. Anything like that, single use, that's what it'll do. Hello, what do you think about the RIP2E case for keyboard? I don't know it. John Smouse Novak says boring. I don't know what you'd like to bore with it, but I recommend using a shovel and or a boring machine, not a Raspberry Pi. Next question. I need a case that looks like an actual pie. Yes, Wolves on Wall Street. Yeah, I tend to personally like these minimalist. This is my other Raspberry Pi project. You can see here I've got getting ready. This is a single channel relay, and this is a Raspberry Pi Zero case. What I'm going to do is mount this single channel relay to this case, and I think I'm going to use this as a thermostat. That's coming up. I'm just going to keep on cleaning up here, but if you guys have any more questions, I'm going to be around for a couple minutes. There we go. I'm a little bit surprised, if I'm honest, that this monitor came with so little. It really genuinely had nothing with it, which is kind of disappointing. But if that's what you're looking for, is a simple, cheap, effective monitor for your project, I don't think you'll find a cheaper, better, simpler one. Should I use the original RPi as a VPN server in 2018 at a friend's place? Yes, but no. It doesn't have a very fast... Ethernet connection, so unless you also have a very slow Ethernet connection, you'll probably notice the speed problems. Also, the CPU isn't very fast at all, so yeah, you'll probably notice that as well. I would probably, if I was going to VPN, I would probably use a slightly more powerful computer. Can you give me some ideas for a school project? I have a Raspberry Pi and a bunch of sensors. Yeah, you should check out my YouTube channel. If you haven't already pressed subscribe, please press subscribe now. You should check out my favorite Raspberry Pi project that I've ever done is the Raspberry Pi alarm clock project. It's called the Ultimate Alarm Clock. You should check it out. All the software is free and downloadable. I wrote it all with the help of the community. It's brilliant. You genuinely will really appreciate that and enjoy it. I'm going to leave this out, actually. Well, thank you again to everybody who tuned in. Don't forget to press like. Don't forget to press subscribe. I'm Ski with Pete. Take care. Now, I've also included a link in the About section below to the Discord channel. There's a lot of keyboard chat in there, but if you guys want to hang out after this stream, don't forget to go and check that out. Thanks again for tuning in, everybody. We'll catch you again very soon indeed. Probably tomorrow. Hopefully you guys are around for tomorrow, and we'll hang out then. Cheers. Bye-bye.